Now, Executive Suite with WPRI.com reporter Ted Nesi.
Welcome to Executive Suite. I'm Ted Nesi. If you have not eaten yet today, as you watch this show, you're going to want to go to the kitchen pretty soon because we're going to have a delicious show talking about the food economy in Rhode Island. Later on, we're going to talk to Lisa Raiola, the founder of Hope in Main, the kitchen incubator in Warren, which has been really growing by leaps and bounds. Lots of companies spinning out of there, and we're going to get an update on how things are going there. But first, I'm very pleased to be joined by, and it smells very good at our table today on Executive Suite. These are three folks from Knead Doughnuts. They're a new, I say kind of gourmet donut, certainly a little fancier than what you might find at certain places around town for donuts. And the folks with me are Adam Lastrina. He is the owner-operator of Knead. Wetherley Rouleau. She is the kitchen manager, dressed appropriately for managing the kitchen today. And Bryan Gibb. He is a co-owner. So thanks, guys, for being here today.
Thanks for having us. Thanks, Ted.
So you guys have been getting a lot of buzz, and probably from some people with sweet tooths, perhaps. But Adam, I'm going to start with you. Just give us the thumbnail sketch of the story. Why did you guys decide to start this company?
Oh, man. Well, I think maybe Bryan should get some of the credit, if not a lot, with the concept, I suppose. Sort of my background, I was with 7 Stars Bakery for 13 years, which was an amazing experience. But I sort of always wanted to kind of do my own thing. And Bryan and myself had a sort of a long-standing relationship, along with our other partner, Todd, who couldn't be here today, unfortunately. Bryan sort of caught wind that I was sniffing around for some sort of new idea and challenge, and he sort of, I think he did some traveling and sort of presented the idea of donuts to me, which was sort of sweeping across the nation, I guess, if you will. And so, we started this conversation over 2 years ago. It took a long time to kind of bring it to fruition.
And Bryan, you already co-owner of Bolt Coffee, right, in the Dean Hotel. So what did you see that made you think donuts could be a hit in Providence?
At the time when we were talking about the initial concept, there really was no other, specialty donut shop. It had been really successful in other cities around the country. The other business, Bolt, we kind of do a lot of the specialty end of coffee. So there was a big void in the market at the time. Adam's a powerhouse on the management side and operations. Wetherley's a really talented baker. My other partner, Todd, kind of has like great oversight and, good companionship. And it's the team, like bringing the team together just seemed like it could totally be a hit.
I want to turn to Wetherley because our team actually stopped in the other day to get a sense of how the process works of making donuts. It's quite a process. Donuts, you think of donut, you think of a simple donut, but actually to get to these kind of pretty fancy donuts as we have on the table, at least in some cases, it's quite a lot. Can you walk us through the steps and how long it takes to make one of these donuts for your team?
Our donuts kind of just take almost 24 hours. We start the day before. We mix all our doughs together and we let them rise overnight, and then we get up really early in the morning, roll them, punch them.
What's the start time?
3 in the morning.
For your whole team?
Typically, yeah, around that time. So we just go for it. We roll them, cut them, proof them, fry them, glaze them. So it's kind of a process that never stops.
And are you going well, you guys are open, I think, morning into the early afternoon.
Yep.
Are you going all through that period to keep the donuts coming out for the customers?
More or less, yeah. There are some days where we're frying most of the day, and then there's other days where we stop midday and kind of work on the following day's production. So when we stopped in, we tried the peanut butter and jelly donut, which I was a little skeptical of because it's very intense. It's a large donut. It might be more of a sharing donut in my opinion. It was so good, and it surprised me actually in the way you guys have put it together. But I'm curious for the three of you, if someone's stopping in, they're going to get one donut, maybe split one or something like that. I want each of you to say which one would you recommend. You go first, Bryan.
I typically go for the vanilla glazed old fashioned.
And why?
It's super classic, but the way that we do it, it's really moist on the inside. It's very dense. It's just so classic.
This is your favorite, all right? Wetherley, which one did you go for?
That one is also one of my favorites. It's really comforting and just delicious, but also I think the classic vanilla brioche is very like a staple and very delicious, and the cinnamon bun. Those are my three favorites.
And before we go to Adam, there's 3 types, right?
Yes.
Not each donut is the same sort of, I may use the wrong word, like a base of the type of donut. Can you explain the difference between the 3?
Yep, so we do the brioche raised, which are all the yeasted donuts. And then we do cake donuts, which are a really wet batter donut that gets deposited using a depositor. And then the old fashions are largely sour cream based, and they get rolled and punched out.
Okay, all right, Adam, your turn. Which one do you go for?
Yeah, I mean, I guess when you're around it all day, it's, you know, your favorite changes on a weekly basis because you sort of grow tired of one, and you know, if somebody else steps up. I'm kind of with Wetherley on just the classic vanilla glazed.
Just the typical.
You know, yeah, I mean, our product line is very focused
really
to
good.
classic in flavor profiles, and I think, you know, there's just nothing better than
Which
that.
sells the best?
Brown butter toffee.
The brown butter toffee is
Brown
easily
butter
our-
toffee. What's that one?
The one in the back
closest
there.
to you.
Oh, okay,
Yeah,
back
so-
here. All right.
Yeah, vanilla glaze all the way.
Yeah. So, what do you think has caused? And I'll let whichever one of you wants to take this one. This renaissance of donuts. You know, it seems like New York. You're reading about this for a while. They even went to Cronuts for a little while and all that. But it took a little longer, as you said, Bryan. Providence didn't have that yet. What has caused this? You know, it's not like it's hard to find a donut of some sort in, especially New England. We won't say where people might find them, but this is a different model. What do you think led to that?
I think donuts are one of those things that are very timeless. I mean, they've been around forever. You think about the old like Dunkin' Donuts commercials, and they're very comforting. You know, I think that they'll always be around. I don't know if the specialty donut craze will always be around, but you know, I think desserts and comfort foods are kind of a staple.
Yeah, people always want that. What's the response been like since we opened taping in March of 17th? You've been open about a quarter or so far. What's it been? Has it met your expectations?
It's far exceeded our expectations for sure. Yeah, we've got challenges, sort of meeting demand, you know. But yeah, it's just sort of like build on what Bryan said. You know, I think food's just a fun thing, right? And there's always trends, and you know, I remember probably 8 years ago it was cupcakes, you know, and now like you can't really find cupcakes around all that much.
Does that worry you that there's this cyclicality kind of?
Well, yes and no. I mean, I think the donut thing will probably fade out, and who knows what the next trend will be in 5 years. But I think we've intentionally designed our product line on more classic flavorings, you know, that, you know, like Bryan said, Dunkin' Donuts has been around forever.
Yeah.
You know, like people will forever eat a glazed donut, and there will forever be a Boston cream donut.
Yeah.
So,
I actually think that it's less of a craze. I think it's always been a staple, like on the West Coast and in New York, and I think we're just finally catching up and being able to offer that to where we live. I think it'll be a staple.
Yeah. Well,
seems like everything always comes, you know, West Coast to East
certainly you
Coast.
try the peanut butter one, you're probably going to go back, I have to admit. I'm not as skinny as these ones, I probably shouldn't, but we're going to talk more about Knead Doughnuts when we come back. But first, we're going to take a break. Stick with us on Executive Suite. Welcome back to Executive Suite. I'm Ted Nisi, and we're talking today about the business of food. Later on, we're going to hear from Lisa Raiola of the Hope Main Kitchen Incubator. She's going to give us an update on how things are going over there in Warren. But right now, I'm joined by 3 top officials from Knead Doughnuts in Providence. Bryan Gibb is a co-owner. Wetherley Rouleau is the kitchen manager, and Adam Lastrina is the owner-operator. Wetherley, you and Adam, I believe, went to Johnson & Wales and are not from Rhode Island originally, but college kept you here, which is kind of the big hope. The Johnson & Wales food program, was that a key attraction to you? We often hear a lot about that, and now here you are managing a kitchen.
Yeah, definitely. For me, getting into school there and meeting so many industry leaders was huge, meeting a lot of people my age that were trying to get into industry, and then the attraction to staying in Providence is definitely, it's so up and coming. There's always opportunities to find your corner and kind of run with it, and that's where I got really lucky, is they created this kind of world for us to thrive in
And have some fun with. Yeah. Adam, as I was reading about this, every time we have a food company on, especially restaurants, service food companies, you always read it's one of the hardest businesses to get going, to keep it going. What's been your experience with that? Do you agree with that conventionalism, and what have you guys done to try to counteract some of the challenges that come with it?
Yeah, well, I think well, one thing that just makes it so tough is you're just always on. Like customer service, like it's a hard job. You're in the face of the public, and you have to always be in a good mood and treat them great. And I think the restaurant industry is just physically demanding too. The hours, as Wetherley can attest to, are tough. You're getting through multiple meals, multiple periods, starting borderline third shift.
And you two both were at 7 Stars. That was presumably early days. You've been doing early days a long time now.
Different kind of early.
Impossible to sleep in now.
Yeah.
Yeah, but I think, unlike other industries where, not to pick on anyone, but, you specialize in one thing and you do that, and I think what makes us sort of different and special is we all sort of bring a little bit to the table, right? Like my focus and expertise is sort of front of house operations. Wetherley mans the back of house, and Bryan kind of does some marketing, logistical type stuff. Whereas, if it was just mine and I was responsible for front of house, back of house, social media, like you just crush me,
Yeah.
And I think we're all able to sort of take a little bit, of each aspect of that and sort of just do our own thing, and it just works.
I think a little bit more on food startups in particular being very difficult. I think people don't really get into the food business to make a lot of money.
Sounds like journalism.
It's like an occupation of passion. It costs a lot of money to get started. It's awful hours, crazy work-life balance. Consumers are very critical, and food is very personal. So I think you just have to love it to get into it. And sometimes, when you're trying to start a business, you realize that sometimes you just don't love it that much.
Enough for what it's going to require of you.
And the margins are, really small in a lot of food industries.
I'm actually going to stick with you, Bryan, because you've now, as I mentioned, Bolt Coffee and now this, you've started 2 food businesses in Providence recently. We do hear sometimes complaints that it can be challenging to get through the process to open a new business here. With your experience, is there anywhere you'd suggest that process could be improved to make it a little easier for entrepreneurs in the city to get up and running?
I would say, the city has come a long way in the past few years in terms of making that much more accessible. I think, in my experience, one of the biggest hurdles is just the unknown. So, how do I even start a business? There are a lot of resources online. They have a new portal now that you can kind of literally go through the process, and it'll spit you out a checklist of everything that you need to do, which is really helpful. And that was helpful for us in getting Knead started. But I mean, I think the different departments and the licensing and the permitting, it's at times disjointed. Sometimes there's not a lot of interconnectedness where I think if there was, it would streamline a lot of the processes, especially with regards to, getting your certificate of occupancy and getting all the sign-offs and having Board of Licenses communicate with fire or building or, whatever the case may be. As, layman in that world, a lot of that stuff is kind of just really overwhelming.
Yeah, you want to make donuts, not necessarily know which office to stop in
and
at.
So, in my experience, having started some things, I kind of know the process a little bit. And I always suggest to just, do a little bit of research. Just do, an hour of, dipping into the health department or going to the Board of Licenses and just asking a simple question. In my experience, just talking to somebody is the biggest help. Providence is super small and super connected, and everybody knows somebody. It's also very welcoming. So everybody wants to help you open a business for the most part.
Adam, one last question. We only have about 30
Sure.
seconds left. So we're taping, as I said, spring of 2017. What's ahead? What are you guys excited about as you look to your second quarter? And more?
Just meeting demand and continue to grow the business. Excited about participating in farmers markets, which is just a great food scene for Rhode Island.
Marathon.
What's that?
It'll be doing the marathon.
Marathon. We got a couple of cross promotions
A
going
donut
on.
marathon? Is that?
You run 30 miles.
Do you
and
have the
get a
donut before or after?
I think it's probably after.
Probably smart, yeah.
If not, we'll recommend that. We recently have a sort of cross promotion with Dash Delivery Service, which I think will meet a lot of current not issues, but people are stuck in offices, can't get out. We do charge a small fee to get it delivered to their office, which will be pretty cool. So sort of working through the logistics of that so that it's sort of seamless.
So all our lawyer and banker viewers downtown, you need a donut pick-me-up, you can get it delivered. All right, well, thank you so much, Bryan Gibb, Adam Lastrina, Wetherley, Rouleau. Thank you all for coming in. Stick with us, though, because we're going to talk with Lisa Raiola coming up next about Hope in Main. Welcome back to Executive Suite. I'm Ted Nisi, and coming up, we're now going to talk to Lisa Raiola from Hope in Main. She is the founder and president of the Warren Kitchen Incubator, and she's been on before. Welcome back.
Thanks for having me.
So, Lisa, I look back. You were on 3.5 years ago. You were on Executive Suite. Yeah, and you hadn't opened yet, and we were talking about what your plan was, and I was trying to get a sense of it. So, give us an update. Remind people what exactly you do at Hope in Main and how it's gone so far.
So Hope in Main is a place where people who have good food ideas can come to start their business. That's it in a nutshell. And we have 4 commercial kitchens as well as an incubation program that provides the business and technical assistance for people to get those businesses started. So 3.5 years ago, I thought we would be fortunate to have maybe 40 businesses in 2 years. And in 30 months, we have licensed 100 businesses at Hope in Main, which has sort of exceeded all of our expectations and shows how much this was really needed in Rhode Island.
And how much people wanted it. So
yes.
Walk us through for people how it works, how someone gets in, what the business model is to stay sustainable, just how it works.
So how it works is you want to make a hot sauce, right? So here's the guys from Freedom Food Farms, and they wanted to make a hot sauce. And they had this idea, so they applied, and it's very easy to apply. You can go online. And because we are a nonprofit that is supported by the USDA, if you are able to make a product there legally, you can apply. We don't vet anybody based on either their experience as a chef or not a chef. We've had stay-at-home moms, we've had people with encore careers, we've had farmers, we've had fishermen. It doesn't matter who you are. If you have a good food idea that we can legally produce at Hope in Main, we want you to apply. And then we bring you in and you get to meet the other makers, which is really important because they all have great inspiring stories about how they started their business. And
I assume there's a lot of cross-pollination too,
there's
people talking to each other.
Incredible cross-pollination there, and that's what has been so, I think, gratifying for the team is seeing the community that's built up. It's hard to go it on your own in the food business because it is a hard business, and people, we sort of say, like, we're all in this alone. Like, we're all going through the same problems, but at Hope in Main, there's a very supportive community of other makers that want to, help these young companies be successful.
Now, I know, I'm sure it's like your children, hard to pick. You don't want to pick a favorite, but you talked about 100 companies coming out. Can you tell us about any success stories or any ones you think about often you're thrilled for their success?
Well, I think there's different kinds of success stories at Hope in Main. So the Anchor Toffee is a great success story. And in part because this is a company that pivoted. They started out with a completely different brand and a completely different product. And one of the things that, I'm most proud of is that failure isn't an F word at Hope in Main. It's a positive thing. We always say, fail fast and move on. If you try something and it's not the path that you want to take, you can do something else because you didn't spend $250,000 to build, a truffle factory and then not make truffles. You didn't spend $250,000 to build a hot sauce factory and then you ended up making salsa. So at Hope in Main, you don't have to spend a lot of money to try things.
And that's kind of, for people who don't know the food industry well, that's one of the sort of killer apps of your model, as I understand, is it's so expensive to get up and running, but you've already done the big expensive infrastructure so they can just do the food. Right.
So we have spent over $3.5 million in getting that. We're in a 100-year-old school, and we outfitted the school with 4 kitchens and all of the equipment that you would need to start. Well, if there's 100 businesses there, and you can see all the different kinds of products that are made there. We've taken the risk, we've spent the money, and we'll even buy equipment for new makers if that's what they need, and other people need the same equipment. So the good news is that you can really concentrate on your business. We create that whole on-ramp for you to get your food processing license, to get your food safety manager's license, to get your insurance, to figure out your ingredients and your testing, your packaging, your labeling, and there you can feel very supported in all of that, as opposed to sort of not knowing if you're going in the right direction and spending a lot of money maybe on something that you don't need to.
So clearly you're feeling very good about how it's gone. Have there been any challenges or any surprises as you've gotten this up and running?
I think some of the surprises have been how fast it's grown. And
good problem to have.
Right. And I think early on, I used to say when you've seen one food business, you've seen one, because everyone was so different and kind of presented its own challenges. And now, because Hope Main has seen close to 300 businesses in 30 months, we've learned a lot. We've been sort of one lesson plan ahead of the class, and I'm glad we didn't lock in on any particular plan or pathway, because we had a lot to learn as people were coming to us with many different kinds of questions of how do we get things done. And I have to say, frankly, the Department of Health has been a fantastic partner. I can't say enough good things about the Department of Health and how they have also helped these businesses and helped us to meet their needs.
So what, you might have people, I'm sure we have some people watching, they have a dream of maybe a food bit, a recipe from grandma that they know could be a big hit or something like that. What is a recipe, no pun intended, for success for someone? What's the kind of person who you'd say, yes, apply, you have a shot at it, or you might really have something there.
So we don't do it for you. You have to do the work yourself. But here's a great example. This is Wise Mouth tea, and there's a woman who makes this tea. She's a Chinese national, and she has her family recipes that she brought from China, and they're really wonderful, unique, delicious teas. And she started out not understanding, how do I take something that I'm making, a batch like this, to make it in 45-gallon kettles, and then how do I choose my container, and how do I label it, and then what should my brand be, and then how am I going to build a sustainable business? So I like to say that the secret is understanding that it's so much more than a recipe, that you have to do the hard work to go from recipe to product to brand to business if you really want to have a sustainable food business. And that's the journey we want to take with you. All the way along the line, we're going to provide that technical and business assistance right up to the promotional piece, because we realized early on, if we don't help these members to promote their businesses, they're not going to have the sales that they need to reinvest and sustain themselves.
30 seconds left. Where do people find the foods, the products being made?
So we do have markets. We have Meet Your Maker Market once a month indoors. We have the Schoolyard Market outdoors in our schoolyard. We are a school. Every Sunday throughout the summer months, and they're all over Rhode Island now. You can see this little sign, Hope Main, or the stickers on the products, made in Rhode Island, Hope Main, and they're at stores all over Rhode Island.
All right, well, if you are hungry, as I bet you are after this episode, you can go grab a donut and then head to the market and get some Hope Main food. Lisa, Raiola, thank you so much for being with me, and thank you for joining us on this week's Executive Suite. Remember, you can catch every episode on WPRI.com, or you can subscribe to the podcast on iTunes. See you back here next week.